What's up guys, it's Mohammed here with part 3 of the recap with Adult Allied, and this is going to sort of double up as a bit of a Mealypuddings Valkyrie masterclass as well, but apart from that I just wanted to show some of the mid-range attacks on some of the non-maxed out Town Hall 9 bases. So this base, I guess I've got a bit more insight than usual because I was with Mealypuddings when he planned the attack, but perhaps not the best base for a Lava Hound attack as I'm trying to show there with the range of the air defences, but it's an easy lure. Plenty of compartments, so you might kind of lean towards hogs because there's no room for spring traps, there's no room for double giant bombs. The only real spaces are in the centre, and as we'll find out later, I think the giant bombs are on the outside of this base, or at least there's not much space for them to be in the centre anyway. So definitely a hoggable base, probably a loonable base, but in this case certainly a Valkyrie base. And I'm just showing you here, you see the number of compartments. Mealypuddings going to use a jump spell, and what he wants to do is not access too many compartments. He wants to get in towards the centre, so the temptation would be to drop it on that air defence which you can see there. But actually if he drops it there, he probably gives access to about 3 or 4 compartments that he doesn't want his Valkyries going in. So in this case it's a situation where you want to drop your jump spell in such a way as that it doesn't allow access to too many compartments. You almost want to minimise its effect rather than maximise it. So an easy lure as we discussed, and then he's bringing it over for the 2-1-2 with the queen to kill a clan castle really easily, and then after that he's going to start creating his funnel. And I was talking to Mealypuddings and he was telling me how he doesn't mind sacrificing his king to create a funnel. So using a giant for distraction, he just gets those wall breakers in before the mortar lands, and then king goes down to tank for some wizards. They're going to create the other side of the funnel, and then if you watch, the queen's going to create the other side of the funnel, and then the Valkyries can go in onto the jump spell. And there you see the jump spell only really allowed access to 2 compartments and to the centre. And then once the queen engages, that's the time to drop the heal spell, because that's when the Valkyries are under the most pressure. But the queen and king is going to draw them straight into the middle, which is obviously great for a Valkyrie attacker's point of view. And then they're going to take out the town hall, detonate loads of bombs, destroy a load of defences as well, and also distract the defences, which means the hogs can come in and don't even need a heal. And I don't know if you care to go back and watch, you'll probably see that I don't think he loses any hogs in the first phase there. And at this stage now they're under heal, so it's only the group on the left as we're looking now that's really taking any damage at all, and he's got loads of Valkyries left as well. So I mean, if you see that giant bomb that just went off there, the placement's very, very weak. I wouldn't recommend anyone copy this base because really it wasn't on a hog path. I don't know why you need a giant bomb in its own compartment, but yeah, quite an easy base to take on really, but Mealypuddings showing how to take it out with Valkyries. The one thing that probably made it difficult base was it's actually quite difficult to funnel Valkyries on it with it having so many compartments, and being quite tricky to decide where you're going to drop that jump spell. But once that was done, there you can see an external giant bomb going off, so maybe another anti-go white base, I'm not sure. This clan's obviously faced a lot of 2-star strategies. They use 2-star strategies themselves and probably trying to defend against that. But if you're using more advanced strategies, which Mealypuddings clearly is, judging by the number of troops on his bar down the bottom there, combine a lot of different troops to get the result, then that kind of base isn't going to slow you down really. Okay, so next up I want to show Sudo's attack. And Sudo did one of the few successful Lavaloon attacks of the war. We had quite a few failed Lavaloon attacks. Probably didn't attempt as many as usual because a lot of people were using hogs this time, but there is a post on the forum for you guys to take in just about how to get the best out of our Lavaloon attacks. You can see the air defences do cover each other, but they don't all cover each other, it's just in pairs. So it's not the worst one for a Lavaloon attack, and the queen is pretty exposed, and you can see if you can get the queen, you're probably going to take out at least one of those air defences, perhaps 2. My initial thought when I saw this base was that you might be able to take out some of the defences with balloons before you even start the attack, but actually the air defences covered all the defences quite well, so that wasn't really an option. But it did kind of highlight the fact that the air defences were therefore placed quite far out from the centre really. Although they don't look it, they are quite exposed, particularly from this side here, and that's where Sudo's going to come in from. 2 golems, quite a few wizards, and he's got the rage as well, so he's pretty safe here to not lure and just let his kill squad get the lure and kill, and then take out the queen very, very easily. Very exposed queen, clearly not a base set up to defend Lavaloon really, and then down go 2 air defences as well. And now suddenly this base is very, very vulnerable to a Lavaloon based attack. So drop it in the Lava Hound, following up with the balloons, and he wants to get the rage, and I really like that rage because it just meets the air defense, so the balloons are going to go nice and quickly into the center. You can see there, I'm just showing you, he's done a really good job clearing out the two air defenses, and he's got his troops in the center. The golem's still alive, distracting as well. But yeah, really good rage, and I think the other one he drops in the same sort of position, maybe a little bit short on that one, but the idea was right, so that the balloons move quickly up to the air defense. It's not so important that the balloons are raged when they hit the air defense, because if you think about it, a balloon does a lot of damage. It doesn't need a rage to do a lot of damage, it does it anyway. You just want that rage to make the balloon move quickly. And talking of moving quickly, this rage has quickly turned from you know, having a lot of defences to take out to having almost none, and that's what balloon raids are like. You know, you'll suddenly find that you've wiped out the base, and now we're pretty much just into cleanup. The cannons aren't going to affect the balloons, and he's got plenty of balloons left. The lava hounds have all popped, which is great. I'm not sure quite how this ties in with the video on the website, you know, with the lava hound number to take is the number of golems -1 or something like that, but definitely worth checking that out. I mean, he was taking out 2 air defenses there, so I think what it was saying on the website was he would then need 3 lava hounds, but in this case he's managed to do it with 2, and to be honest I would have brought 2 as well, so you don't necessarily have to have 2 golems and then 3 lava hounds. Clearly it's worked in this case to just bring the 2 lava hounds. I think probably because the kill squad was quite big, it stayed alive, it took out quite a lot of defences, it distracted a lot of defences, perhaps didn't need as many lava hounds as usual. So yeah, a really nice attack. I'd like to go into a bit more detail on it, but I don't want to sort of make these videos too long. But the main things to take away are, you know, how he got the queen, how he took out the exposed air defences. That's what you're looking for. If the base doesn't have that, then you're not going to be able to Lavaloon it very well. So let's get straight into another Mealypudding Valkyrie attack, and this base is a little bit better designed than the previous one. The centre, I mean, it's similar. There's a little bit more space for giant bombs, more space for Teslas. There's no hog ring really, there's no double giant bombs on the outside that I can see, and there's not even really single giant bomb spots, so quite a weak base really to a ground attack. Perhaps not to a go wipe, and I think again that's what this base was set up for, but pretty weak to hogs, and obviously it's going to be weak to Valkyries, which we're about to find out in a minute. You've got those corner builder huts, which is nice for a lure. Centralized king and queen, which is great for the Valkyrie attacks because they're just going to draw those Valkyries in, and you can see the open corners as well, which means it's only going to take a few wall breakers and a jump spell and you're going to be into the centre. So Mealypudding getting the lure, and while the defences are distracted with the lure, also dropping in a few wall breakers to make a space so that you can funnel in later. Then he's got his 2-1-2 in the clan castle and using the queen. Then using those giants out wide so that you can easily create a funnel with his wizards. It's definitely a good trade. You know, you're trading say 9 spots to create the funnel if you take 1 wizard and 1 giant. But the funnel's absolutely essential. The other side funnel obviously created by the other camp, and I say this every week, camps are a great way to create a funnel. And then once he's ready and he's confident he's got his funnel, so holding off a little bit, being patient, in go the Valkyries, and they're just going to follow the jump spell. And again, he's tried not to open up too many compartments here, he just really wants them to go central, but the king and queen are going to help a lot with that. And then, as Mealy explained to me while I was around there, dropping in the rage and the heal as early as possible, because the Valkyries are under a lot of DPS and a lot of pressure when they first go in, so that's when they really need the heal. Soon after they go in, they're going to wipe out the centre, set off all the bombs, and they're not under any pressure at all, and they won't need heals. So better to keep them alive early on. And then he's able to drop in the hogs from around the sides while a lot of the defences are distracted. And okay, the Valkyries went to the right and he still needed to destroy from the left, but you're only looking at 2 or 3 defences and he's got maybe 10 hogs to drop in, so it's not an issue. And he's really ripped that base to shreds there. Another great attack. So that's going to wrap it up for the recap this week. I might come back with one more video, which is going to be a bit of a scouting video that I talked about. But I'll have to see if I've got time and whether I've got the right sort of replays to show that. But thanks for watching, guys.